Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about the latest film directed by James Watkins, Speak No Evil. Released on September 13th, 2024, it's a social horror drama starring James McAvoy and Mackenzie Davis. The narrative follows a family's sinister retreat in the home of strangers in the rural English countryside. Now, before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, then please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As a warning, this review will contain some heavy spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if you want to see me review something, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Thank you. I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. The film follows Ben Dalton along with his wife Louise and their daughter Agnes enjoying a family getaway in the Italian countryside. When the Daltons meet Patty Feld and his wife Chiara and their son Ant, they're charmed. They become friends and accept an invitation to stay at the Felds farmhouse in Devon, England. As the film progresses, it becomes painfully obvious that things are off with the Felds. They seem friendly but have very intrusive, domineering, and abusive behaviors. The tranquility the Daltons initially experienced is disrupted as Patty contrasts his disturbing charm with moments of aggression. The Daltons are dumb as hell and avoid every red flag in the book to avoid being rude or judgmental. Their hesitation and compliance continually lead them further and further into Patty and Chiara's trap. I'm leaving my brain on for a second because I have a couple of complaints, and the more I think about this movie, the less I like it. I promise I'll turn my brain off later. The film is supposed to be a commentary on how social conditioning can make people overlook sinister behavior. Instead, what I got away from this movie is that if you're a weak parent, you're a bad parent. Now, it's typically a good thing to be non-confrontational. You avoid trouble, harm, and danger, but not always. Sometimes the danger is knocking on your front door and you need to leave the door locked. If that door gets busted down, then as a parent, you need to be ready to fight tooth and nail for your kid. In theory, the plot is interesting, but this is where the execution falls apart. Agnes has anxiety, and to the chagrin of Ben, Louise babies her. Agnes has a stuffed rabbit named Hoppy, and Hoppy is the only thing that calms her anxiety. Agnes is an infuriating character. She's an 11-year-old girl and panics anytime she loses Hoppy. She's at the age where she should learn better coping mechanisms, and I blame the Daltons for their poor parenting. Not just that, as a plot device, Hoppy is repetitive, and I personally want to burn that bunny. Speaking of bad parents, let's analyze Ben and Louise. Ben is an awful dad. Not because he doesn't try to be a good dad, he definitely tries. He takes his daughter on a vacation to Italy. He searches for her lost bunny twice. He showcases concern for her. What makes him a poor dad is that he doesn't have a backbone. He's a coward, and he tries to justify his behavior by doing the things he thinks are right. When the family escapes the danger, Ben brings them back into the fire to avoid his daughter's panic attack. When it becomes clear that Patty was abusing Ant and Chiara, Ben didn't try to evacuate his family because he wanted to seem like a nice, nonchalant guy. Ben is a huge pushover. And not just that, he's a dismissive husband and is insecure and resentful of his wife's prior cheating. That said, Louise is equally as bad of a parent. Her soft parenting techniques don't work with Agnes. Her daughter is emotionally stunted because of her. When Louise sees strange and vile behavior from the Felds, she tells her husband and he blows her off. A good parent, a parent that cares about their kid's safety, would have taken the car keys and left, even if it meant leaving Ben behind. As a parent, she can visibly see Patty abusing Ant and just lets things happen in front of her. I know that in certain scenarios, you don't really know what you would do, but I would never be in a scenario like that in the first place. If there's an apparent danger to me, my friends, or my family, I'm telling everyone and evacuating us. If that's not an option, I'm throwing hands. Another complaint that I have about this movie is the paper trail that so clearly leads to the Felds. They've supposedly murdered many couples, drained their bank accounts, and stolen their children. Do you really expect me to believe that the police haven't been able to track their cell phones, which the Felds have? Do you expect me to believe that after every couple goes missing, nobody's come searching for them? Hey, what happened to John and Jane Doe? They've been missing for a week. Oh, that's weird. I know they went to go visit the farm of the people on their fridge. Like, come on now. Also, did every couple they murder conveniently not try to escape or call the police? The script has so many plot holes. Okay, like I promised, I'm turning my brain off. There are some moments where the film tries to justify its narrative and theme. The best example of this is with the ending lines when the Daltons ask Patty, "Why are you doing this?" and he responds with, "Because you let me." Moral of the story, don't be a pushover. While I hated the Daltons and their family dynamics, I do want to praise the cast. ScootMcnairy was fantastic as Ben. You can see and feel his resentment for his wife and daughter, yet you can also feel his concern. McNairy perfectly captures the mild-mannered man. Mackenzie Davis is also fantastic as Louise. She's certainly a lot more dramatic with her acting. Her emotions show very clearly on her face, and it's obvious that she's concerned for her family's safety, but conflicted about leaving the farmhouse. The actress for Agnes, Alex West Leffler, is okay. She definitely felt like a child actress. On that note, I want to praise the casting for the Feld family. Dan Howe is wonderful as Ant. He perfectly plays a kid that's been beaten into submission, trying to play his cards right to escape. No complaints here, Dan. Aileen Francoisi as Kiara is also great. There are moments where she seems so loving towards Patty, and there are moments where even she seems to fear him. Her character is so complex, and it's hard to pinpoint her true motivations. The standout of this movie is James McAvoy. He's an outright terror in this film with his shifting emotions. He's charismatic and intense. McAvoy's physical transformation for this role is crazy. He beefed up, gaining over 15 pounds of muscle, and it makes Patty intimidating. He's very nuanced with his performance and manipulation. For example, his insistence on getting the family to cliff jump shows his control over his guests. Not just that, but he masks his control as bonding, as shown when he and Ben scream out their emotions. He's a dominant character, and he knows how to play his guests. The film's visuals are among its greatest strengths, capturing the stark beauty of the countryside while contrasting it with the claustrophobic farmhouse setting. Watkins and cinematographer Tim Maurice Jones leveraged the natural beauty of the rural environment to juxtapose the character's social horror. The farmhouse is charming. It feels well lived in, and it's like a place you could call home. It's a perfect contrast against the terrifying couple. I think what I appreciated most about this movie is that it didn't have any cheap scare tactics. There were no jump scares. The acting by McAvoy and the setting created an ominous ambience. Shots of Patty's hulking figure silhouetted against the rustic backdrops made him intimidating. His shadowy form, watching Ben and Louise argue about their marriage, perfectly captured his intrusive control. Additionally, the film's color palette, rich in earth tones, complemented the setting and the somber atmosphere. The soundtrack and sound design are pivotal in crafting the film's horror. The eerie music that plays as Patty drives his family to the retreat in the film's opening immediately built suspense and set the tone for the film. The soundtrack alternates between subtle tension-building compositions and more discordant sounds that intensify Patty's toying with the family. He truly is a cat playing with his food. Speak No Evil presents a chilling exploration of how social conditioning and passive behavior can lead people into dangerous situations. Through the Dalton family's disastrous encounter with the menacing Felds, the film illustrates the perils of prioritizing social niceties over personal boundaries and safety. Though the script often stretches its plausibility with the family's reluctance to leave, the actors' compelling performances, especially James McAvoy's unsettling portrayal of Patty, help anchor the story in a psychological horror that feels eerily tense. Honestly, McAvoy carries this movie, and you should watch it for his portrayal alone. The film's visuals, contrasting the picturesque countryside with the claustrophobic farmhouse, amplify the horror, as do the intense soundscapes that underscore the tension of each interaction. Despite my frustrations with the characters' poor decisions and the plot's logical gaps, the movie succeeds in delivering a disturbing tale. A weak parent is a bad parent. Thank you for listening to my review of Speak No Evil. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if you want me to review something, don't forget to let me know, and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego, and I will see you next time.